Hey guys, Connor here, aka OKayFabe, with another OneWrestling.com TNA/Impact Wrestling review for February 9th, 2016. But before I get into the review, well, Matt Hardy talked at the very beginning of the show about the Matt Hardy brand and how it was better than the Impact Wrestling brand. And so I kind of wanted to figure out how I could improve my own brand, the OKayFabe brand, I guess you could say. And I have here just reading some things about how, general steps to how to improve your brand. Step 1, be good at your job. Okay, well, I'm out.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Hello, everybody. My name is Connor, aka that's not... Well, that goes that my brand. KayFabe. Welcome back to another fun and intriguing edition of the TNA Impact Wrestling Review right here on the YouTube channel that is for OneWrestling.com video and, of course, the OneWrestling.com website as well. We want to thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate the continued love and support. Remember, you can always live tweet with me every Tuesday night while Impact Wrestling is airing on social media at Twitter at OKayFabe. And, of course, make sure you follow the entire OneWrestling.com family on social media. Again, links for everyone down in the description box below. Now, we got a whole heap and lot to talk about here on the TNA Impact Wrestling Review as we head over across the pond. Not across my pond, trust me, it's really nasty and just like I stepped in it once and something bit me. I don't know what it was, but regardless, we go across the pond over to Manchester, UK for the first ever Impact Wrestling on Poptv UK special. This obviously is the kickstart of the whole UK tour that will be going on for 5 weeks, and we have a whole lot to talk about. But don't forget, I always like to hear what you guys have to say. Again, if you hit us up on the social media down in the description box below, or leave us a comment and let us know your thoughts of Impact Wrestling. So, of course, we kick things off with none other than the iconic. I need like a gargle or something. The iconic TNA World Heavyweight Champion Matt Hardy. I sound like a chain smoker now. Anyway, the show kicks off with TNA World Heavyweight Champion Matt Hardy basically coming out and proclaiming once again how great he truly is. I'm sensing a pattern here. But in the midst of all that, he says that, well, there's a chance that Ethan Carter III might return. Maybe because of the fact that TNA has been mentioning it most of the evening. Regardless, Matt Hardy says, well, despite all that, something needs to be done. Something needs to take care of. There's a cancer in the locker room. There's a cancer in TNA, and he needs to be cut out. I am the top dog. I am the golden pony, if you will. I am the top man. I am your top champion, and your top champion says you should get rid of EC3. So later on in the main segment of the show, Matt Hardy will confront Dixie Carter one-on-one, face-to-face, champion to chairman. Ooh, I got that one right. To demand that EC3 be fired. But wait, let's kick the things off the right way with some amazing in-ring action to start the show. For what I believe to be the first time ever in TNA, or at least TNA on Poptv, Bobby Lashley takes on Bram one-on-one, with, of course, the Psycho EY, they just creep me out, at ringside. I'm really digging the whole relationship between Eric Young and Bram. I mean, granted, they were kind of thrown together, and I really wanted them to succeed together, but they were kind of testing the waters a little bit. It was kind of a little rocky, kind of a little shaky, but I'm really glad and they seem to be gelling well together. And the other thing that I like about this particular relationship is that it's not your standard stereotypical tag team. Yes, they're technically a tag team, but if you notice, they dabble in and forth between singles division and tag team division. So I like the fact that they're basically considered equals, especially where Eric Young has had obviously the more longer and mainstay career in TNA. It makes sense to kind of give Bram a little bit of the rub, not that he necessarily needs it, but it's great to see them kind of on equal level and equal playing field, especially when he takes on the destroyer, Bobby Lashley, and boy, howdy, did Lashley destroy. Great psychology, great, fantastic in-ring action from the two of them, really unique, and I thought Lashley looked the best he's looked in quite some time. Not that he didn't look good previously. I mean, the guy's a huge, destroyer. See, I can't do that, and I can't look intimidating while I do that, but the point being is that Eric Young tried to sabotage the match. Well, not necessarily sabotage, but basically just destroy Bobby Lashley by hitting him with the King of the Mountain Championship. Lashley, of course, inadvertently ducked at the last minute, hitting Bram, allowing Lashley to turn around, take out EY, and, of course, spear Bram to get the pinfall victory. However, I do raise up one Sminer, it's small and minor together, Sminer argument, the fact that, shouldn't Bram have been disqualified in that? if I'm not mistaken, Eric Young hit him, so technically the match should have gotten thrown out, but listen, I'm just trying to stay grace on the side of Eric Young and Bram. Listen, you think you want, how many letters I've gotten from them already, and they're not good, and I'm trying to stay on their good side, okay? So listen, there's a lot of people in TNA that could beat me up / eat me. Most of them are the same people, but regardless, let's keep on moving forward. Kurt Angle comes out to address the wonderful UK fans and reminding him, of course, of his unfortunate retirement tour, or his farewell tour, I should state. And he is talking about his match that he's going to have later on against Drew Galloway when he's interrupted by a miracle. Oh, shut up and take my money. Mike Bennett comes out to confront Kurt Angle, even challenging him in a weird way to a match. Come on, TNA, please, I want to see. I'd get down on my knees, but please, just put Kurt Angle versus Drew Galloway 1-on-1. No? Okay, well, let's hope for that miracle. Kurt ends up taking out Mike Bennett, unfortunately, but continues to hype up the fact that him and Drew Galloway will be having an amazing match later tonight. Well, gee, we're going to get to that. There's so much to talk about in this Impact. But my favorite division's up next. The X Division Championship, Trevor Lee against Tigre Uno. Now, to be completely fair, prior to Trevor Lee's reemergence in Impact Wrestling, I really didn't know a whole lot about Trevor Lee, and I'm kind of glad I wasn't, because it just made me all that more surprised to see him in this matchup. Now, granted, they had a huge and great match last week for the X Division Championship, but this one felt a lot different, a lot more high stakes, a lot more high flying and great action. The one thing I like about Trevor Lee particularly is the fact that, well, he's not only just a high flyer that can go with the likes of Tigre Uno, but he's also a bit of a brawler, something you're not usually used to seeing in the X Division. You're used to seeing high flying crazy stuff, and is that a frying pan? I'm pretty sure I just saw that somewhere. It's all over the place, and Trevor Lee can do that, but he chooses to go the brawling route, which I find very intriguing and different. And it basically, the matchup was fantastic, and a crazy finish, fisherman's buster, easy for me to say, to end the match. Gotta admit, this Trevor Lee is amazing to watch and really great. I hope they don't put Trevor Lee against Tigre Uno too many times. Again, not that I wasn't a fan of these matches, but kind of want to see some shake-up in the X Division, but Trevor Lee is definitely a step in the correct direction, especially with Gregory Shane Helms, say that 3 times fast, in his corner. Speaking of corner, it's time for some beer money. I can't do it as good as they are, and every time I mix the two again, I'm usually out of one or the other, probably within 5 minutes of each other. Beer Money came out next to... No. My heart's racing. There we go. Cash in their tag team title opportunity that James Storm won in the Feast or Fired match not too long ago. Now, unfortunately, there is a little bit of ownership and confusion, who has what, and, the Wolves are technically the champions, but Decay has the tag team titles. It's a little bit of a legal tricky situation right now, but fear not, Decay decided to come out. Anyway, listen, I love the team of Decay, but, something about Rosemary's eyes, it just... Anywho, Decay comes out and basically proclaims that yes, they are still in possession of the tag team titles. And while Beer Money really didn't want to pass up an opportunity to fight, we were impromptued, that's a word, by Beer Money against Decay. I keep praising and saying how great Decay is as a tag team. Now, granted, they've mostly interacted with the Wolves, with the exception of the 8-man hardcore tag team matchup they had last week on Impact. But this kind of made me and really brought me a strong point to bring up was this match against Beer Money. Beer Money is obviously probably, with next to the Wolves, the most established tag team in TNA right now, and arguably the entire tag team ever as far as original tag teams go. So to be able to go toe-to-toe with them and having a stable, credible matchup was just all the more fuel that I needed to add to my fire to say how great Decay is as a tag team. Rosemary's different, Crazy Steve turning in that twisted sense of his character, and the Monster Abyss giving something else to do as well, too. It's a perfect blend of everything, and it's keeping me involved in every step of the way. Abyss ends up pulling out the referee to stop the match. Of course, they get DQ'd. Bram doesn't get DQ'd, but yeah, I gotta remember those letters. Abyss gets DQ'd, unfortunately, thus leading to a crazy all-in-suit brawl where basically Decay takes out Beer Money themselves. As they look like to pull out Janice, the Wolves come in for the save with steel chairs, but then demand their tag team titles back, even willing to put those same tag team titles on the line next week. Of course, Decay accepts with, of course, one little minor, tiny little stipulation. Monsters Ball! Okay, they said it cooler than I did, but Monsters Ball! Yes, Monsters Ball. The interesting crazy, chaotic matchup that Abyss has been known to be the master of in TNA will be coming back next week as the Wolves will face Decay for those tag team titles in that hellacious matchup, to say the least. So that just makes me all the more intrigued to see this next week's Impact on Poptv for sure. And let me know what you guys think of this past Impact Wrestling so far. Again, leave a comment down here below or hit us up on the social media. We move on to... Wait. Who showed up? Oh, that's right. Grado. Everyone's favorite hashtag give Grado a chance. Everyone's favorite fired TNA wrestler. Wow, that really doesn't sound that... I didn't make that sound good at all. Grado made to try to make the stake in the claim that, his firing was a screw job, and he said he got royally screwed. So much so that Eli Drake decided to come out with security and attempt to chase them down. Now listen, I'm not saying that it wasn't a funny segment to see him run around, but I just kind of wish that in the back of the head everybody had like some Benny Hill music, the... Okay, I'm getting a little off topic, but the point is, I don't think we've seen the last of this young Grado person, so as much as it was kind of obvious that maybe he was going to get the feast or fire, perhaps there's more seeds planted in this than I thought, which, I'm not going to lie, has got me interested to see what's going to happen. I'm going to take a gamble, take a bet, if you will, that we might be seeing some more interaction between Eli Drake and Grado down the line. But you know what? As much as Grado is cool and all, the knockouts are where it's at. Yes, Jade took on Madison Rayne, and man, was it really hard for me to not stop staring at my television screen. Jade and Madison Rayne. Now, I haven't really seen a whole lot of Jade as far as in singles competition, and I'm still trying to be familiar with the Dollhouse themselves, but Jade, wow, I can't, holy cannoli. Of course, the Dollhouse interferes and costs Madison Rayne the matchup, and as Dollhouse looks out to gain even a bigger advantage by taking out Madison Rayne as they did Velvet Sky previously, Gail King comes in to clean house. The Knockouts champion literally takes out all three women to help save Madison Rayne. This type of matchup, and actually Jade in and of herself as far as being a solo act in this particular matchup, granted the Dollhouse was at ringside and there was a little bit of shenanigans, but it was mostly Jade 95% of the time. This type of matchup, as I mentioned as far as, the Decay getting their shot against Beer Money and showing how good they are as a tag team, this kind of shows how good Jade could be on her own as a singles competitor. I'm not saying that I not want the Dollhouse to basically split up anytime soon, but I can see the seeds being planted right there for a future as far as growing a stability when it comes to the Knockouts division as far as the women fighting themselves, individually, not as part as a team. So Jade truly impressed me with this matchup against Madison Rayne, which just once again gets me all the more hopeful for the Knockouts, and they're real purty too. There goes my professionalism. This is why that list was made, so that the OKayFabe brand is just not happening. Anyway, the main event time, or at least the main matchup, Drew Galloway versus Kurt Angle. I cannot say enough about this matchup. Now, I know that as wrestling fans, a lot of us say like, oh man, that was, a fantastic match. And I do say that a lot here on these reviews. But Drew Galloway and Kurt Angle have fought twice now ever since Impact has made his move over to Poptv, and both times they have, in my opinion, knocked it right out of the park. There was a delay in that knock, but that's besides the point. Point being, this matchup was insane and crazy. This was hands down the match of the night. I was a little concerned and worried because when you do a rematch, especially rematches that are so close to each other, again, referencing the first match they had on the Farewell Tour with Kurt Angle versus Drew Galloway, it's always tricky because you feel like the second match can never live up to the first matchup. But man, was I wrong. Crazy moments, crazy spots. Kurt Angle giving an angle slam to Drew Galloway on the steel steps, and Drew doing some sort of almost like a Celtic cross off the top turnbuckle. Angle slams, angle locks. It was just drama, emotion, fantastic in-ring work. If you're going to watch any segment of Impact Wrestling, and I know this is kind of a bold statement, definitely watch this matchup. Watch both of them, to be completely honest with you. This matchup did not disappoint me in any way, shape, or form. Not that I was expecting it to heavily disappoint, but like I mentioned previously, when you have two matches that are very good back-to-back, it's hard to pull this off. But they did it absolutely 100% hands down best match of the night up between Galloway and Angle. Much respect as actually Galloway got the victory in this one as Kurt Angle tapped out to a submission. So it was very surprising for me to say the least. But unfortunately with Kurt Angle's farewell tour in the UK, it was somewhat in some weird way level expected. Now, we go on to the main segment of Impact Wrestling, which is of course Matt Hardy calls back out That's not how you call it a president of a company, by the way. That's how I've got fired multiple times. Again, check the list. Calls out TNA President Dixie Carter to demand that EC3 be fired. The iconic... I'm going to work on that. Matt Hardy demands over and over, fire EC3, fire EC3, fire EC3, fire EC3, fire EC3, fire EC3. You don't even say that. It just sounds weird. Anyway, to which she doesn't budge. So instead, someone comes to her defense, a young, strapping Rockstar Spud. Cool! I haven't seen Rockstar Spud on TV in a while, so I'm all for some more Rockstar Spud on Impact Wrestling on Poptv. Despite everything that EC3 has done to Rockstar Spud in the past, despite the humiliation, the attacks, and everything that he's caused, Rockstar Spud still defended EC3 and stated that Matt Hardy was jealous and that he was not going to ask Dixie to fire him. Tyrus, of course, responded the way Tyrus does by Tyrus Smash and takes out Rockstar Spud, only to have EC3 make his triumphant return, my hero, and take out all the security members, Tyrus, and also chase Matt Hardy out of the ring. An interesting stare between Rockstar Spud, Dixie Carter, and EC3 took place as EC3 left the arena and left the ring with a smirk on his face, knowing that he was back in full force. Whew, that was a lot to say in one deep breath, but I think I got the point across. Anyway, this Impact was amazing. Now, I know that I've said that all the Impact Wrestling shows since they've come back on Poptv has been great, and they have been. They've been very consistent. This one in particular, though, had a lot of things, particularly, like I said, the Drew Galloway Kurt Angle match was, oh, lordy. Jade versus Madison Rayne was a great matchup. Decay getting a great, well, not so much win, but just a great opportunity against Beer Money, really truly showcased them as how good a tag team they could be. Bram got a chance to show off some singles victories against, well, I shouldn't say victories, Bobby Lashley. I love how I'm hyping up the losers in all these matchups. And, of course, Matt Hardy, EC3 continuing their rivalry, and we get to see a Monsters Ball match for the tag team titles next week. And of course, can't forget the X Division matchup with Trevor Lee. I feel like TNA is really getting a lot of momentum behind them, and they're starting to plant the seeds for a lot of great things in the future. I see that Trevor Lee is a big deal. Decay is starting to come up. There's various things that TNA is doing right now to ensure a longevity as far as their product, at least for this year. I can't say I'd be looking into 5 years in the future as far as booking, but that's the part that really gets me captivated and motivated by watching this Impact Wrestling. The matches were really on point. Nothing really dragged. Nothing was too long. Nothing was too short. Everything was exactly where it needed to be. The length was just muy fantastico, and I'm not Italian, but you get my point. Anyway, I'm going to wrap things up here on my end, but of course, I encourage you guys to let us know what you thought of Impact Wrestling this past week on Poptv. I can't do the pop noise all the time. I really got to take a breath in between these things. We appreciate all the continued love and support here on the OneWrestling.com YouTube channel, as well as OneWrestling.com itself. Make sure you follow the entire OneWrestling.com family. And again, let us know what you guys thought of Impact Wrestling this past week by leaving a comment down below, or again, hitting us up on Twitter, Facebook, and all the various social media links in the description down below. Down below. It'd be hard to leave stuff up here. It's just the title. Just the title. That's all there is to it. There's not much room for anything else up there. It's just... man, it's kind of dusty up there. Someone should really clean. Yeah, spider. I hate spiders. What was I talking about? All right. So, again, make sure you follow the entire OneWrestling.com family over on social media, including yours truly, Connor, a.k.a. Oh, it's really still dusty up there. OKayFabe. You can follow Big Ray at Big Ray Show. Bill Skyler at You Got The Show. Fame Black at Fame Black. Billy Ray Valentine at Billy Ray Hustle. The Professor PW Hustle at Professor PW Hustle. A-Track Brown at Pharaoh Fancy. Make sure you join the Big Slam Nation and follow them at Big Slam Nation. And of course, the legendary, the iconic, the one himself. Where is he? Yeah, up there. Mr. Bill Apter at Apter One Wrestling. And of course, at One Wrestling on Twitter as well, too. We thank you guys for the continued love and support. If you haven't hit that subscribe and like button already, what are you waiting for? Go down right there. Hit subscribe, hit like. Might as well do it at the same time. Just bam, bam. And while you're down there, make sure you leave a nice little comment saying how much you love the show. Ding! I can't afford the actual sparkle. So anyway, thank you guys again for watching. Appreciate it. And of course, to quote the legendary Bill Apter, we will see you at the matches.